Welcome back. You're watching Network Africa. A provincial task team has held meetings in Polokwane to discuss the way forward following violent protests in Vuwani. They're reviewing the findings of a technical team which has assessed the situation on the ground. By situation, I'm referring to 13 schools which have been torched. Satellites in Vuwani, Limpopo this week as violent protests in the area continue. We understand that residents are protesting against plans for Vuwani to be included in a new municipality. The Municipal Demarcation Board announced in July 2015 that Malamulele would get its own new municipality to be known as Malamulele Vuwani Municipality. However, residents say they want to remain under the Makado municipality. The CEO of Junto Media, Mr. Lucas Molloy, joins me now from Johannesburg. Lucas, thank you for joining us on Network Africa.
Thank you very much to all your viewers.
Okay, well, great to see you. Give us paint the picture for us exactly what's going on in Limpopo and why this violence is taking place. We do seem to have lost Molloy. We will try to reconnect with him and get back to discuss what's going on really in that part of South Africa. In the meantime, Egypt's Interior Ministry already under fire over accusations of police brutality and other abuses heaped new woes onto itself yesterday when its press office accidentally published confidential guidelines that aim to counter a growing tide of news media criticism. Memos sent to journalists from the ministry's official email accounts contained suggestions about how to counter a vicious news media campaign. We understand that one document proposed a rule to stop all coverage related to Giulio Regeni, the Italian graduate student whose brutalized body was found on a Cairo roadside in February on the same day. But in a separate development, the Egyptian Press Syndicate also denounced recent arrests of journalists, demanding that the government respect press freedom.
Today is the third day of a sit-in that's been organized by the Egyptian Press Syndicate to protest the action that was taken by the Egyptian Interior Ministry by illegally raiding the headquarters of the Press Syndicate on Sunday night because they wanted to arrest two journalists who were seeking refuge at the headquarters of the Egyptian Press Syndicate. The Interior Ministry violated the laws organizing the entry to the headquarters of the Press Syndicate. Article number 70 of our internal laws state that in case police wants to enter the building, they have to seek the permit of the head of the Press Syndicate, and he has to be present or send a representative. This was not respected at all. On April 25th, when we were supposed to have protests in Egypt against the agreement signed with Saudi Arabia, many journalists were arrested. At least 46 reporters have been arrested from all sorts of newspapers while simply trying to do the jobs. It wasn't like it didn't really matter whether you worked for a pro-government newspaper or for an opposition or an independent newspaper or a news agency. Just moving around in the streets with your press pass was enough to get you arrested. So generally speaking, the last step by raiding the headquarters of the Egyptian Press Syndicate was sort of the stroke that broke the camel's back. Everybody's very angry. Other professional syndicates are equally angry. The doctors, the engineers, the lawyers, they've all issued statements of solidarity with us. And we are going to continue our sit-in here until our demands are met, topped with the resignation or the removal of the Interior Minister for violating the law and violating the headquarters of the Press Syndicate, and the release of our two colleagues, Amr Badr and Mahmoud Al-Sa'a, who were arrested while being here at the Press Syndicate.
Well, the VOA's Edward Uranian joins us now in Cairo for more on this. Edward, thank you for joining us on the program. What more do we know about this leak by the Interior Ministry?
Well, the Interior Ministry itself is downplaying it, saying it's a technical mistake, and I think that's just adding fuel to the already volatile situation. But at the same time, if you had told me they were following that stratagem without even seeing those memos, I would have said probably they were.
And what does this document really contain? Because we see here confidential guidelines which aim to counter a growing tide of news media criticism. Is the ministry trying to clamp down on the media, preventing them from really doing their job?
Well, I think in climate that's prevailing in this country right now, where you have part of the population which wants to overthrow the government, and another part of the population, I still sense it's the majority, want to stability. I think that you have a definite clash of viewpoints out there. I've heard people virulently defending the government position, and I've heard people virulently oppose. The problem is that you've got a lot of arrogance on both sides, on the part of the journalist syndicate and on the part of the industry. So it's creating an escalation.
We would like to apologize to our viewers around the world. We do seem to be having problems with the internet connectivity. Our engineers are working on it. We'll get back to that interview as soon as we can. But when we come back on Network Africa, a focus on the growing drought in Zimbabwe. Thousands of people in need of food aid. Please join us again.